to be launching a tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Must. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Monday, August 22nd, 2022. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Even though the summer is starting to wind down, I can all but guarantee you that if you had arms like Phil Heath, it wouldn't matter what season it was, because every day would be sun's out, guns out. Phil released this clip from an arm training session a few days ago, and it didn't say in the caption if it was a recent video, but you would have sworn that it came from an old prep file, because it still looks absolutely insane. It's crazy because his post-retirement body is probably good enough to win most shows on the schedule right now, which just goes to show you how unreal he actually was at the peak of his powers. He's still one of the most captivating personalities in the industry, and it doesn't look like he's planning to slow down anytime soon. Hearing someone talk about growing into a show doesn't really mean a whole lot in actuality, because 99% of the time, it's just one of those things that people like to say because it sounds good. But the reality of the situation is that very few people actually do it, and even fewer do it at the level that we're seeing from Hunter Labrada. According to the latest reports from Hunter's camp, he's tipping the scale at 290 right now, which has to be at least 5 to 10 pounds heavier than he was at this point last year. Whatever his process is, he seems to have it down pat, and if he keeps up this pace, there might be a very real possibility that we see him contend for a top 3 spot this year. There's a small contingent of people out there who seem to think that this will be the year we finally see chinks in Chris Bumstead's armor get exposed. Now, whether or not that is even any merit to that argument is another story. But for argument's sake, let's just say it's true. Because if it does end up being the case, it means opening the door for someone like Ramon Dino to upset the entire balance of power in the division. By all accounts, he had a terrific stretch with his diet and training over these last few months, and in the content that we've seen from him and his team, he definitely looks like he's made some improvements since the start of the season. So in this hypothetical world where Chris starts to fade, if Ramon does end up being the one to seize the throne, you can't help but wonder how he will reshape the next few years of the division. He shows up shredded, he wins, period. That's what Nick Walker said about Big Ramy on Fouad Abiad's podcast last week. Now, the thing about that quote that's really interesting is the fact that Nick has probably been the most vocal athlete in the open when it comes to saying that he's going to beat Ramy and win the Olympia title this year. So here's the million-dollar question. What does that tell you about the way the rest of the field feels about Ramy right now? Because from an outsider's perspective, it seems like he's untouchable unless he misses the mark. The man is a defending 2-time champion for a reason, and if he shows up at his best, he's probably still game, set, and match for everyone else in the lineup, because at this point, he's still untouchable. And that does it for yet another edition of I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.